Before 2026 came about, I managed to start Haikyuu in November. Haikyuu ended up being so phenomenal that I binged all that had been adapted into anime, then further consumed the story where the anime leaves off in the manga. A guy like me who values characters the most in any piece of media, Haikyuu provided a plethora of ones to love. From the whole of the Karasuno team to the coach of Shiratorizawa, this series is blessed with an ocean of great characters to watch. Though there is one character that constantly sticks out in my mind, not just because we have similar hair color, but because this character has an unyielding grip on my being with how immense his impact was on me. Not only that, but he does it with so little screen time, it's utterly insane. From the title, you can guess that I can only be talking about Inarizaki's captain of the volleyball team, Shinsuke Kita. From his first appearance, you wouldn't think much of him. He doesn't look stand out or anything special, perhaps just another player to fill the roster and ride the bench. Some of those things are true. He isn't truly a standout or talented volleyball player, but he is far from just another player riding the bench. Unexpectedly, he is actually the captain of this powerhouse school, and there isn't a better candidate to lead such a team. His stern look isn't just for show, as his first lines ever spoken are rather blunt, maybe even mean in some people's perspectives. I don't think so though. Their pinch server was super anxious and overthinking hella, so he prioritized getting the ball over the net instead of doing a proper good serve with the intention of scoring. The ball went over, but they lost the points soon after. Following this, he gets subbed off and Kita tells him straight up, this team doesn't need someone to just get the serve over, regardless of if they are in a winning or losing position. This tiny interaction gives us a taster of the type of person we can presume he is. A serious, no goofing off type of dude who's not about being half-assed when doing something. Especially if that type of behavior is going to be a detriment to others in the team who are giving it their all. That's why Kita told Risaki this team doesn't need him if he's just going out there to focus on not embarrassing himself. Much as it seems like a personal attack on him, it's not. It's just in this instance it was him. But Kita wouldn't hold back against other teammates either if they were to do the same thing. That's the sort of leadership you need. One who wants to instill good sentiments to guide his teammates towards victory. In addition, for that behavior to remain consistent no matter who he's talking to, and remaining impartial regardless of your role or position within the team. It doesn't matter if you're the star player, you won't get away with BS as long as he's around. We're flashbacked to a glimpse of Kita's upbringing with a core message that stayed with him since childhood. His grandmother tells him, someone's always watching. The gods are everywhere as they are cleaning the floor of their home. I think this dialogue from his grandmother tells an important idea not only for Kita, but for us as well. That no matter where you are, someone is always watching. In this context, it's authority figures that are of the highest level. The gods who are higher beings are the ones watching us, and naturally human beings tend to feel some amount of pressure when being watched. The feeling of having eyes on us when we are doing any type of activity normally induces feelings of pressure, anxiety, or stress, whether the levels are immensely high or extremely low. The easiest example I can think of is if your boss is working the same shift as you so they can see what you're doing and how well you do your job. You would be on guard, anxious to perform your task well, and do your work the right way so you don't face any sort of consequences, like the possibility of losing your job. Losing your job being the most extreme consequence, but just one of the possibilities of a negative outcome. Furthermore, this applies very well to the situation at hand since they're at nationals trying to win. Risaki, having felt the pressure of everyone's stares, took a sort of opposite approach from this sort of influence, honing in on trying to not embarrass himself by getting the ball over instead of attempting to genuinely score, which backfired severely. He got booed by their supporters and reprimanded by the captain because he didn't serve it properly how he should have. Moving on, as Kita walks onto the court, he immediately goes to Gin, and just him saying bro's name has him quivering in his boots. Kita asks why he tried to force that spike earlier, the one that was blocked, and he responds with that he was trying to stop the game from continuing to go in Karasuno's favor, which was the ongoing trajectory of the game. Kita coldly rebuttals with, and that's supposed to happen by you getting blocked? God damn, you don't gotta do Gin like that, oh my god. Even his coaches know how on edge everyone gets as soon as he walks onto the court, noting his sound arguments are like a punch to the gut. This literally couldn't be a better description, because if bro came up to me and said something so straightforward yet I couldn't argue back because he's Haikyuu, right? I'd have my mood shot down so hard. Like, just put me on the damn bench at that that point. Even got Atsumu nervous as hell with Kita on the court. But more importantly, his ordinary ass got Karasuno sort of on edge, which comes off as rather airy. Inarizaki getting the break point makes Kyoko have a bad feeling about it, like it's more than just a break point. She monologues having a sense that the boys suddenly can't make the same plays as earlier. How is bro's aura this powerful? Like, he's just a normal dude. But that's why he's so gassed. Inarizaki's coach mentions guys like him appear every once in a while. Not a star player, yet their presence still takes over the court. He doesn't have to be an Ushiwaka, an Atsumu, or anything like that. He still exerts a similar pressure, even if he doesn't possess the same talent they have. And it is so tough! He does it through the way he carries himself, that being not half-assed, logical, and thorough when it comes to doing anything. He's been this way since middle school from the coach's perspective, but it's really been way longer. It's just the coach has known him since then, but Kita didn't just flip the switch when middle school came around. People like this are built from what feels like a lifetime repeating the same practices, which is crazy given what we learn about him in the flashbacks. It'd be one thing not being on the starting lineup for a team. However, in middle school, we find out he wasn't even handed a jersey. Bro's not even on the team! Yet, he can be seen thoroughly analyzing their opponents, recognizing one of their players won't hit a straight shot. He's doing this shit and he's not even on the team! The coach said that he never did anything unnecessary, and his words were precise, which seems pretty spot on with what the audience has been shown so far. Though his plays needed to be worked on, he's diligent, so he did the training for them properly. All to culminate to this point that he's at now, where he's brimming with confidence. Not a lack of confidence that will make him screw up, or overconfidence that says he's stronger than others. Just the right amount that allows him to play his best. Risuke is in awe that he can just pull up and play flawlessly, like he's some sort of seasoned veteran, to which their libero responds, that's because he's got way more experience. Except Suna tells them he didn't even play until his last year of high school, and the previously aforementioned fact he wasn't even on the team in middle school. My reaction would be the same as theirs to hearing this information. Utterly shocked. Another flashback answers their queries, in which he's conversing with Aran and says he doesn't understand why anyone ever gets nervous. Aran, dumbfounded, reacting in the same way we probably would hearing this, goes, what are you, some kind of robot? As much as Kita seems like a robot, it's not that. He states, you only get nervous because you are trying to be more powerful than you usually are, right? The day-to-day tasks like eating or going to the bathroom, you don't get nervous doing those things. There's no second thought spared doing such menial tasks. This should apply to volleyball as well. Notice how he says should, not outright does, because he knows it's a challenge for people even if it shouldn't be. Then he proceeds to say, if it's something you can do during practice, there's no reason to get nervous. And he is so right for this. If you've practiced it a million times over and over, then why get nervous if you know you can do it? The nervousness must be stemming from trying to do more than that, or attempting to be stronger, which is unnecessary, since that nervousness can make you perform worse than during practice. I won't say Kita is right in absolute, but there is a great amount of truth to what he's saying, of course. Real games are different from practice, and that environment can cause a lot of other varying factors that hinder performance or cause anxiety. Whether it be crowd, stakes, mental block, a lot of shit can negatively impact one's play when it comes to the real deal. For Risuke, it was not even about being better than usual, but not screwing up again like that one time he came in. So Kita is right, but it doesn't apply to every situation or person. I still follow the idea though, that doesn't mean a desire to be stronger is bad if it does make you play better. It just has risks and consequences, like it resulting in you being a bum instead. For example, the Miyas managed to copy and pull off Hinata and Kageyama's quick attack from wanting to be stronger. For Risuke, if he had just served like how he presumably practiced a million times, being their pinch server and all, then he wouldn't have gotten the lecture from Kita. The only reason why Kita could be considered above average is simply due to the fact he'll pull off in game what he does in practice. He doesn't excel technically, physically, or stand out. It's just he doesn't piss his pants when he knows he has the capability to do something he spent time putting reps into. The lights are not too bright for him. I like this dialogue from the coach that the best praise you could give him is to not be surprised. Nothing about what he does in real matches should shock you in any way, because to him, it's only normal he can do those things. We get further shown a flashback in the middle of the match to when Atsumu, Inarizaki's star setter, volleyball lover, and fiend, has fallen ill to a cold. Gin asks, shouldn't he be resting instead of practicing, and Atsumu responds vigorously that it's nothing and he'll get worse if he doesn't play. They both get pumped up with Gin saying, yeah, love for the sport conquers all. Kita chimes in and tells Atsumu to go home, while scolding Gin for complimenting him when he's clearly not taking care of himself. It comes off as a bit mean routine, and Atsumu bitterly listens as he heads to the locker room, pissed off, yelling, "Can he be a bit nicer about it?" To Atsumu's surprise, he walks into a locker room with a bag filled with food and drinks that are supposed to help his cold. It even has a little note telling him to ensure he eats and rests. My god, Atsumu's reaction is so me. This shit is so sweet. That's a real captain right there, looking out for his teammates. What initially was him sounding kind of harsh turned out to be an act of kindness, showing he truly cares. He wants Atsumu to take care of himself properly, and when he's 100%, he can come back better than ever. I think he's setting a good example of himself for his teammates, and that further adds reasoning to why he's the captain. Someone who isn't afraid to say what needs to be said, and simultaneously has good attention to detail on the right way to do things. In this context, it's health, which is something that crucially needs to be looked after if one is to do their best in volleyball, though it can be said with anything else as well. Every day, you gotta do it properly every day. Taking care of yourself, cleaning and tidying up, your prayers, volleyball in Kita's case, but for you it can be any sort of sport or physical activity. It all goes a long way to benefit you. Doing the small things properly and consistently will build good character, and the things you want to get good at become easier this way. Not because someone is watching, but because repetition, being methodical and thorough, feel good. This is the case for Kita, who stopped caring about his grandmother's words and just does things how they should be done because it feels nice doing it right. I can wholeheartedly get behind these things, especially in this day and age where it feels like the chase for something grander is always shoved in our faces. We can forget to enjoy the small things in life. A good friend once told me we forget to stop and smell the roses, which couldn't be any more so damn real. We human beings who have a naturally poor memory in the pursuit of whatever our ambition may be tend to neglect slowing down and appreciating the little things around us. To enjoy the things we don't spare a second thought to, like for example, what makes our daily routine that constructs our character is often forgotten about. Having the discipline and conviction to consistently do things properly feels good inside and will bleed over to bigger things we want to get done or improve at as well. The results aren't immediate, so it's really difficult to see how these minute things will pay off, but it will be rewarded. The menial, everyday activities that bore our brains eventually pile up and culminate to create something much greater. In one instance, the end result could be a person who doesn't half-ass the things they do, being far happier than they would be if they weren't this way that they are. Or perhaps in whatever they decide to do, be greeted with success more than they would have without the tiny steps they took to get there. Kita isn't anything special, but has great discipline to properly do the things that make him the person he is. He is purely built from his routine, he says, and that's a significant part of his character that also manages to get him minutes playing volleyball, something he enjoys doing. I think out of the yap so far, this one message really solidifies his greatness of an impact for all the audience, not just me. The process matters more than the results. Something adults say that kids just won't understand. The imagery in his head for this is Atsumu saying, "Results are everything!" But Kita is in agreement with the adults. Results are nothing more than a byproduct. Though he's not planning to make a living off volleyball, he wonders if receiving his jersey is a result too. A result he couldn't be more happy about, as we're shown how much it really means to him. Having not even received a jersey in middle school to now earning one in high school has Kita, the dude who seems robotic and emotionless, break down. This reaction is as unexpected as it can get given the type of person he is, in addition to his ideology that he believes in. If results are just byproducts, then why is he crying at this one? Well, that's because even though the process is more important, it does not mean results don't or can't matter at all. In this instance, I think it's pretty damn valid of him to shed tears of joy from this result. I mean, it's the process that he values more, paying off in no better way for him. And Aran assures him he doesn't need a reason for feeling emotions. If he's happy, then he's happy, and that's that. No need to be so meticulous and care about the small stuff. It's perfectly fine that he's feeling something positive from an outcome that is meaningful to him. This byproduct that has him joyful doesn't make him switch up on his beliefs either. He knows without the process, the success wouldn't be a possibility. So just like always, in this match he's currently in, he'll do what he needs to do. He doesn't need any applause. With little to no screen time so far, Kita has immensely made his mark and given so much value through his character. Seriously, it genuinely feels absurd how much learning and lessons there is to be gained from watching this guy be on screen. I couldn't agree more with the sentiment that the process matters more than the results, and the results are just a byproduct. It's about the small steps we take every day that set up not only ourselves to be better people, but the opportunities for successes to come our way. Without them, the results aren't even a possibility to begin with. The process may be monotonous and an absolute absolute slog to do some days when you aren't feeling motivated or bothered, but to do them regardless creates discipline that will carry over to the future. Whatever it may be, whether it's picking up a new skill, sport, hobby, you will already know that the process comes and doing those things will become a lot less difficult because you've trained your mind to do so before. Becoming good or better at those things is the result of you sticking to the journey, working at it consistently and properly. Just do what needs to be done, not because someone is watching or to be praised for doing it. Do it because it feels good that it's getting done right. Patiently, bit by bit, adding up to create a foundation for someone that's bound to succeed. The process isn't something necessary for commendation when it's just your normal everyday routine. This is all just too real. It is a philosophy I'm applying to my own life more and more. I've no joke picked up volleyball because I'm trying to be the little giant, and for that to happen, well, I need to go through the whole journey of learning the fundamentals, training, practicing technique, and making consistent so it accumulates the transferable skills when playing a game. It's all very tedious and unmotivating at times, but then I repeat in my head the mantra I made after witnessing Kita's character, the process, over and over again to remind myself that good things take time, and this is essential if I want to reach my goal. Subsequently, whatever it is I'm doing, I start enjoying the fact that I'm still doing it when it feels like a chore and that I'm doing it methodically and correctly. This has allowed me to do many things that are of benefit to me, like stretching as one example, way more regularly in my day-to-day, and it is quite literally thanks to Kita. It's not like I get rewarded or praised for any of it, but that of course doesn't matter and shouldn't either. No one needs to be watching me exerting pressure for me to do such routine tasks. It is simply just standard. Ironically for Kita, he doesn't care about someone watching, but his teammates definitely do when it's him that's watching them. He's the one whose eyes are in the back of everyone's necks, staying alert, making sure they don't get overconfident, overzealous, or lazy and slack off. This is required of him as the captain, since the coach notes the second years piss themselves or get cocky when there's a difference in scores as they're mentally weak. He's the sergeant that'll whip them into shape. It's not that Kita ever yells or hits anyone, but his sheer pressure has everyone cautious to still be on guard, serious, and maximum effort. His astute understanding of his teammates also aids him to be the guy to do this. He knows Atsumo's aggressive attitude that hates losing can be a detriment at times, and even though Osamu seemingly displays a calmer demeanor, he still shares the same blood as his brother, meaning he can be just as prone to the same disadvantages. He recognizes Gin feels responsible and passionate, which causes him to rush, like earlier before when he panicked and got blocked. When they're ahead, Suna starts slacking off, but since Kita's on the court now, Suna remains serious, scoring and taking the set for EryiZ. That's GOAT leader material right there. The best part about Kita is that he carries himself correctly and doesn't do anything that contradicts his behavior or beliefs. He's first to practice, he goes all out at practice, not looking for a shortcut, and he doesn't know what a failing grade is. He's not just all preach, no practice, and I love that. Kita makes an observation about Atsumu in between sets that's actually hilarious. He's like, I know you want to do spike serves after seeing Kageyama do them. Must be having a thought like, man, spike serves are so much cooler, and I'm just getting sick of these jump floaters. It's so pinpoint and Atsumu can't even ignore it. Like, how does this motherfucker know that? Kita just wants to remind him that jump floaters are scoring, so don't fix what ain't broke. Plus, Atsumu's been trying to crush Karasuno's libero this whole time, so see it through to the end. Don't be half-assed and switch up. Atsumu nervously obliges and he scores the first point of the next set, continuing to use jump floaters. One of the guys on the bench notes he's pretty sharp today and could probably get either over, and even Kita agrees that chances of him getting either serve over won't change much. However, in the case that he does spike serve and Karasuno manages to get it, he'll end up dwelling on his choice, thinking he should have stuck it out with jump floaters. So make him stick to what's already working, making sure he has conviction and is giving 100% in his serve, instead of tossing up, deciding which one to do. Plus, if they manage to receive his jump floater, his personality that's burning with competitiveness would motivate him to get one over on them. So overall, it's just better for him to do jump floaters. Kita again demonstrated his perceptive judgment to make a wise call as the captain, giving his team the best odds of winning. Risuke gets another chance at pinch serving, and would you look at that? He served it like how he's practiced and scored. Yippee! Kita influence goes crazy. So crazy that though it may seem like a passively defensive decision, the coach says it's his best offensive play to bring him back on the court whilst the Miyas are on fire so they don't step on the brakes. EryiZ's motto is, we don't need the memories, and in a sense it's really cool to not be stuck gloating on one's successes or dwell in the failures of the past. Focus on what's right in front of us all the way to the top. Can't be thinking about the future without start paving the wave there first. A moment in a different match that reflected this would be when Iwaizumi tells Oikawa to lock in for the current match against Karasuno right in front of them. He can't be thinking about beating Ushiwaka if he can't get past this challenge here and now. Kita doesn't really fuck with the motto, explaining that the path is not only what's in front of us. But seeing people who act like they embody the motto to varying degrees, like the Miyas, Kageyama, and Hinata, make his heart stir. I would describe it as an awe, perhaps inspiring sort of feeling, as he doesn't understand people like them, yet a feeling in his heart evokes intrigue in them. He's not the kind of player to change the flow of the game, but it's his duty to watch the backs of his teammates who keep running ahead so quickly, because these teammates who don't need the memories won't look back. I like how he realizes Daichi is probably the same, having Hinata and Kageyama himself. Real recognize real. Kita really got the team's back because when the twins want to keep evolving, their repeated attempt at copying Hinata and Kageyama's freak quick fails, but Kita is there for the save. He just cannot be more goated, I swear. The fact that Kita is so humble as well has me so geeked. On the topic of geniuses, because Kageyama is on fire in this match, he recalls being asked if it's hard being on the same team with such a genius who's younger than him when he's not a starter. He doesn't know what qualifies as a genius, but he understood what they were saying and how they're referring to Atsumu. People believe guys like Atsumu are just born talented players. However, Kita accredits Atsumu for the work he puts in to become the genius that these people see. If he were to compare himself, it would be like if everything he does every day gets rated on a scale of 1 to 10, then guys like Atsumu do it on a scale of 1 to 20. Or it can be seen as a more effective / denser 10, and sometimes it's even A to Z. This really puts into perspective how much effort these geniuses are really putting in if Kita is presumably around half of that. Remember, it's Kita himself saying this, therefore showing his humility, being able to acknowledge it's not just pure talent that's the only factor for why these geniuses are so good. In addition to the fact he's unbothered by these younger guys starting and playing over him, because he's well aware there's an exceptionally good reason. Even if those guys mess up, are hated by strangers, cast out, completely ignore something others deem important, cough up blood, they're the ones who want to just keep on running because they simply just have to do it. Being able to dive headfirst into things is a talent itself that's unappreciated, and it doesn't matter what you call these guys. Kita admits that there are people in the world who they're no match for, and it's natural to be amazed by those people. Being called a genius isn't an insult, but if you're thinking they're a genius from the start, then you've already lost before you even played them. Plus, it's rude as it undermines the amount of immense hard work they've sunk into perfecting their skills. Kita apologizes for the rant to his teammates and that he didn't mean anything by it. I find it very sincere as it never felt like a personal attack for his teammates' misjudgment. Regardless, his teammates appreciate that he told them all this, as it was for the better. Just some more positive influence as a GOAT role model for his juniors. He considers himself lucky that someone like him got invited to share the same court on the same side or other side of the net with monsters. Monsters who profess their love for volleyball every day that today are in this match he's playing in. For someone like him who knows that he isn't going to make a living off volleyball, it's the highest form of unspoken praise. His humble attitude towards those who are more special than he is, I find very heartwarming and inspiring. It's not a jealousy so overt or secretly kept hidden away. It's a grateful appreciation that these are the caliber of players he gets the opportunity to play with and against. It doesn't deter or scare him away from the sport. It evokes happiness that values one's fortunate position to be in. That's the sort of attitude I myself want to uphold if I'm to strive to be better for my own volleyball too. Sadly, Inarizaki falters to Karasuno as Hinata and Kageyama block the twins' quick attack, and obviously everyone's pretty down on dumps from the loss, except for one guy. The twins try apologizing for using that move they haven't practiced because the outcome was a failure that cost them nationals. Kita hates when they do stuff they haven't practiced, but knows that today they were really on their A game, hence why they attempted it. Though when they are, everyone else usually gets left behind. Unfortunately, Karasuno's monsters were on their A game as well, which birthed a match like this one they don't get to have every day. He knows it had them exhilarated and is happy for them having smiled, which isn't a regular occurrence. Yet it occurred a lot more today from this match, as he smiled a few times throughout already. He even expresses that it's still frustrating that they did everything they could but still lost, though he has no regrets. The notorious robot-like dude that's seemingly emotionless this, having shown emotions varying from happiness to frustration, displays how significant this match really was to him. That he's not completely different from the rest of his teammates when it comes to caring about winning. There's just what comes before that matters to him more. With a smile on his face, he says, "Well, isn't my team amazing?" As he tells them he wanted to say that even more. More than winning the match, he had words that he wanted to share, praising his team for the good work they've done and how awesome they are at this thing they commit so much to. A message that embodies his philosophy that the process is truly more important, since saying that was more important than if they won or lost. Wrapping things up, because I've yapped way too plenty, there will be manga spoilers from this point. Kita becomes a rice farmer after high school, and I fuck with his decision for his character. He knew fully well he wasn't doing anything with volleyball after high school, and a job like this suits him so well. A labor job that's all about the process couldn't fit him any better. The result of his labor, you may wonder? He's Osamu's rice plug for his onigiri shop. That's high-key fire how interconnected these relationships still remain intact given how much everyone's life went in completely different paths. With just maybe 20 minutes of screen time, he managed to substantially impact myself and hopefully many of you who watch Haikyuu as well. Whether you were in a rut, reflecting upon the results of your own sports match, pondering whether your work at whatever it is will go to waste, I think Kita had maybe enlightened our perspective and headspace with his highly motivating philosophy. That's so damn memorable. The way he carries himself, how he's such an exceptional role model for his peers, it's all just so captivating to watch that it makes you want to embody these ideas explored through him. I was just utterly impressed with how much I gained out of this character when he had little to no screen time. Thank you for watching this long yap. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like the video, comment down any thoughts, and have a blessed rest of your day.